Well, that doesn't bode well. Why do I get so, like, my body just has like an extreme reaction to things that like aren't a big deal. It's the same way I cry whenever like the conversation isn't even anything that's upsetting me, but my body's like, now we're gonna cry. Hello, welcome today to a Get Ready With Me. I actually already have a Get Ready With Me filmed. I have a bunch of videos really that I should be doing before this. I filmed like a different Get Ready With Me just talking about life, and I filmed like a music Q&A, and like, you know, there's some unboxings and there's like a whole bunch of stuff. But basically the thing is, like, I've had something sort of like on my mind for a while that I kind of wanted to talk about, and then like I was sitting downstairs and I started like really thinking, like, because I do that, like I'll sit and kind of like do videos in my head a lot of the time. I feel like a lot of the time that's kind of how like I work things out in my head, is like, imagine I'm doing a video about it, like what would I say in a video? And I've had like sort of similar things, just things like topics of like, you know, talking about stuff with like more substance than like just like happy like here's what I'm doing today, or here's some cute stuff in a box, you know, like stuff that's like a little more like emotionally involved, I suppose. And, you know, I'll get these video ideas in my head and I'll be like, yes, good idea, yes, I'm gonna do that, that'll be a great video. But then by the time it comes around to like, you know, I've got time to do it, I've chickened out. Here we go. So first of all, right, so I'm doing a chatty Get Ready With Me because I prefer to do that rather than just singing and talking to the camera. It's like, you know, a little more, not interactive, it's a little more something, but I have no idea what I'm doing with my face. I literally just sat down and we're gonna figure out as we go along. People are gonna be so mad that I'm not getting to the point quickly, but look, you just have to let me like do my process. So yeah, I tend to end up like chickening out of like talking about anything really. So since I was just sitting downstairs, I was about to start editing, but I was just sitting downstairs, I was like, do you know what, just go to the attic and do it now, and then like, you know, if you decide against it during the editing, so be it, but at least you've got it done. So where does this start really? Yeah, okay, so YouTube, I am not taking it for, the words just left my head. I am certainly not taking what YouTube has done for me for granted by any means. YouTube has done like a lot of really amazing things for my life, like so many amazing things that we can't even talk about, because again, I'm one of those people, like if I talk about anything vaguely emotional, I start crying even though I feel fine, and then like just no one will take you seriously. So, which I'm hoping doesn't happen in this video, because this isn't like a big deal. This is something that's like, that's a bummer, that's a bit sad, but I swear to God, if I start bawling for no reason and it like undermines what I'm trying to say, I will not be amused. So know right now, while I'm still doing A-okay, that like I'm fine. There's nothing like actually wrong right now, there's nothing going on, like, because that's another thing. I feel like generally whenever I do any sort of videos where I talk about stuff, it's usually because something is like going on, something's been happening, and it's like a lot of shit's been coming at me and I panic and it's too much and I'm like, okay, I have to go out in a video. That's not happening here. There's literally nothing happening. Everything is fine. This is just something that I've kind of like, you know, had on my mind for a long time, like in the background. So yes, YouTube has done like lots of incredible things for my life, but sometimes there's like a little part of me that kind of wishes like like not really, again, like this is just like a little sort of like, you know, stupid like back of your head thought that you don't actually think, but you know, it's kind of there. Part of me sometimes like wishes it had never happened, and here's why. Back before, what do I need to let this dry. Back before all of everything happened, before like, you know, YouTube blew up and all the rest, I used to really love finding like goth spaces on the internet. So like different like blogs and forums and groups and stuff. I used to love that kind of thing. I used to love like taking part in things like that. I used to love like meeting other people and just, you know, like seeing what other people have to say and learning about it, you know, because it's a big part of my interests. I used to like love that stuff. But for like years now, I don't know how to describe it, because the only words that are coming to mind are way too over dramatic. Like the words that come to mind is, I haven't felt safe in goth spaces, and that's like dumb, because you know, I'm not gonna like die or anything. I haven't felt comfortable, I don't know, something in that realm. But yeah, I haven't felt whatever in any sort of goth spaces online, and now I actively avoid them. So much so that whenever like someone like say like tags me on Facebook in a post from something I can see as like a goth page or a goth group, I actually feel sick. Like I feel sick to my stomach, and I will start shaking and like get really panicky, just because you know, the whole YouTube thing happened, and like so I got well known from that and whatever. It's just sort of like, I can guarantee that if I scroll through one of these like pages or groups or whatever for long enough, I will find someone being really shitty, either about me or someone that I care about, and like that just, it's like a weird sort of stress me. It's one of those things that I shouldn't really care about, but I don't like to expose myself to it. Like, I will avoid any place online that I think, you know, I could see stuff like that, because, you know, you don't want to see stuff like that. And yeah, that just really sucks, and it does feel like I'm sort of missing out on a lot, really. And, you know, like, sometimes I can kind of sort of keep myself distracted and busy, because I do have a lot of other interests outside of goth, you know, like, if I happen to be in one of my, like, pink moods, I'm like, woohoo, kawaii, and all that, then, like, I can sort of roam about those kind of spaces and, like, learn about those things, and it's fine. But, you know, at the end of the day, behind all of the different interests I have, the one that sort of remains at my core would be, you know, goth, I guess. You know, sort of like everything related to that. Like, that's sort of like the main place I feel like I belong, but also now I really don't because of these experiences. I had like this entire video in my head downstairs, and I've kind of like forgotten a lot of the points that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like by, you know, sort of doing YouTube and getting to where I am on it and stuff, I've kind of like locked myself out of a part of life that I used to like really care about. And I guess like in itself that doesn't even really make sense, because if it wasn't me it would be someone else, and like, you know, just like, would I still actually want to be part of these spaces that are so, you know, sort of like heavy on the like bullies and stuff? I guess probably not. So I guess really I'm not missing anything, because that just doesn't align with, you know, the kind of spaces that I want to be in. But it just kind of sucks that things are that way. And even like, you know, I have like a couple of groups that I'm in that like generally feel like, you know, like I'm safe from that kind of thing. But every now and again, you know, like a post will come up, something like, you know, like, oh, can anyone recommend any goth YouTubers? And like immediately, like I will immediately feel sick like whenever I see that. Like, I feel so ill whenever I see that, and I'm too afraid to look at the comments, because I have before, and I know that from experience probably someone sweet will be like, hey, you know, I watch Toxic Tears and blah blah blah, and it's only a matter of time before someone else comes in and they're like, no, she's shit, she's awful, she's a bad person, she's not goth, blah blah blah, and like it just turns into like a whole thing. Oh my god. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just weird seeing people talk about you like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing whenever people are coming to you being shitty, but it's also almost worse kind of seeing them just like talk about you like elsewhere as if you're not a real person. And like, as well as that, you know, a lot of the times like the stuff that like, you know, I've seen said whenever like situations like that have arisen, it's like, you know, it'll be either a straight up fucking lie, like something that's not true at all, and this person will be like, oh, she's shit because she did this, and I'm like, I did not do that. But then other people will be like, I didn't know she did that, I hate her now too, and I'm like, what the fuck? So like, there's that. Or it'll be people like trying to twist things to fit their like narrative of me, or it'll be people taking like shit that I said like 6 years ago. Like for instance, in one of my super old videos, like from not long after I started YouTube, I said something along the lines of like, I don't listen to a lot of goth music, and you know, I like listen to stupid pop and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know, that was true, but for one, I said not a lot, not none, but people will be like, she doesn't listen to goth music, she doesn't listen to any goth music. I'm like, that's not what I said. Two, back then, like, I hadn't really had my spirit crushed by YouTube yet, and I used to kind of just take the piss a lot more and be like, haha, fuck your goth music, pop, you know, just to sort of like, not troll, but you know, just like, and on top of all of that, that was 6 years ago. You know, people's interests grow and change and, you know, like expand and, you know, like things like that. And certainly in recent years, I've found way more cool music that I really love. My music tastes are much like broader than they used to be. I've kind of had the tools recently to find more stuff that I actually like, rather than people just recommending stuff and it not really being my thing. Maybe I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't for me. But yeah, but people will like cling to like me 6 years ago starting out on YouTube being like, I don't listen to a lot of goth music, and turn that into, she listens to no goth music, she's a fake goth, she's not a real goth, how dare she? And I'm like, okay. And then it somehow gets warped into this like massive thing, and I'm like, fucking hell. So yeah, that's like super shit. Like I said, so you know, to go back on my point there, you know, a lot of the stuff that's said is just like kind of a load of nonsense anyway. But you know, like, even if you try to explain to these people that they're wrong, they won't listen because they want to hate you. You know, they've got an idea of you in their head and they don't want to have their minds changed. They don't. They're happier hating you, so there's nothing you can actually do about it. And so because of that, like I said, I just don't feel like I can take part in these communities. And as I said before, like, I know there's gonna be some like going around in circles in this video because I haven't scripted it. Beyond kind of thinking about some stuff in my head, I've just come up here, sat down and gone. What the fuck was I about to say? God, my concentration is shocking. Like I said, you know, I can sort of distract myself by focusing on my other interests, but at the end of the day, I kind of always come back to like, you know, my main sort of interest in life. And like I said, you know, it's not like a massive deal. It's not like a thing that is going to like ruin my life or anything. But there is like a sort of ache for like this lack of community. You know, like there's so many more spaces online available now than there was whenever like I first got online at the age of like, I don't know, like somewhere between 11 and 13, I guess. You know, there's so many more places to like talk to people and learn and stuff now, and it kind of sucks because like little me would have loved that, but now we're at a point where there's so much more than I was ever able to have, but I kind of can't have it. Where the hell is my eyeliner, bro? But yeah, like I'm sure to like sort of people who haven't actually dealt with it, this, you know, probably seems like a stupid overreaction, and I'm sure like a lot of people will be like, who cares what people think, you know, like who cares, just you can join groups, it doesn't matter. And it's like, I know that, I do, but at the end of the day, really no one wants to like be in spaces where they're constantly seeing strangers like shit talk you and tear you to pieces. Like, no matter how much you think you wouldn't care, eventually it gets shit. Like, no one actually wants to be in a space like that. It's not a good environment, you know? Especially if you're someone who can be like emotional and fucking like sensitive, then it's like, even if it's not a massive deal, even if it doesn't like tear you up inside or anything, it still fucking sucks. You know, like there's these people that you want to be like your peers or whatever, like, like that, because that's another thing. I've gotten to like a weird point where I'm like afraid to sort of like follow some people online, because like I'll find someone cool online and I'll go to follow them and a little voice in the back of my head is like, what if they're one of the people that hates you? What if they're one of the people that can't fucking stand you? I'm like, oh god. And it's like that's irrational. That is irrational and dumb, but like that's the point it's gotten to. And in the same sort of vein as that, like whenever I was younger, I used to be like desperate to go to goth festivals. I so wanted to go to like with Gothic Treff and like all of that. Like that was like my life's dream, my life's goal. And now, again, irrationally, I'm afraid to go to spaces like that. Which is utterly ridiculous, you know, like I haven't put on powder. I shouldn't allow like paranoia, like literal paranoia, and like, you know, a handful of shitty people online make me miss out on like these amazing experiences and like making friends who have like a lot in common with and stuff. But it's just, I guess I've kind of grown very untrusting of pretty much the entire goth scene, which is like, oh, it's so shit, because it used to feel like home. It's happening. Please believe me when I say I am not that upset. I'm honestly not. Like, it sucks, but I'm not that upset. I think it's like certain language that sets it off as well. Like any overly like emotional language tends to make it worse. But yeah, the goth scene, it used to feel like home. It used to feel like such a safe space to me. And yeah, just over the years it's become like literally the exact opposite. So much so that like, shit, I don't know when that stopped recording. I'm gonna do a quick recap in case it stopped midway through what I was saying. Oh, so basically as a rundown, I used to be really torn up. I used to be like, you know, now I'm kind of used to it. I'm just like, that fucking sucks, but whatever. But like a couple of years ago, I was like really upset by the nasty stuff that I would kind of get thrown at me from within the goth community. And then because of that, my boyfriend, who had been alternative or like, you know, sort of like loosely identified with like the goth scene like since way before I ever knew him or anything, he would not only see me struggling with the whole thing because like, you know, I couldn't get brand deals because I was goth, I couldn't keep up with like my non-goth YouTube friends in a career sense because I was goth, you know, I didn't get the same opportunities as other people. I'm being turned down for so many things, you know, I couldn't earn as much money, like you know, I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm very limited in how far I can get in it because of the way I look essentially, and like, you know, everything else, but the way you look is what people see, like whether, you know, like your lifestyle or your music tastes or anything else. You, like whenever a company comes on to see if they want to work with you, they don't know any of that, like they see you. So that's why I'm saying because the way I look is because that's the part that people put the importance on. They come on the channel, they see me in the little thumbnails and they're like, no. So yeah, not only would he see me really struggling with that and being really upset about that, but I would be like bawling into his lap, like crying and just like really beating myself up for like the amount of hate that I was getting from people within the goth scene. Like, you know, this scene that I was so dedicated to that, you know, and I couldn't possibly leave because it's so like so much a part of me that I'm willing to sacrifice my career, as it were, to be part of. I was getting like so much fucking nastiness from within it, and from seeing all of that, like, and like, you know, obviously he had some shit himself, but because like at the time my channel was bigger or whatever, I would be getting the brunt of it. So yeah, from seeing all that, like there was actually a couple of years where he was like, do you know what, fuck goth. Not fuck goths, I want to clarify, just like fuck goth as in the scene, because it just seen it causing me like nothing but pain. And you know, there was nothing that could be done about that, so I think just there was like a lot of anger there, and also because like he wanted to do YouTube, he was afraid of like not being able to grow his channel if, you know, he's sort of stayed true to himself. So for a couple of years he tried to force himself into this little like normal bubble, and I saw him really struggling with that. Like he tried to act like, you know, it was fine and this is what he wanted, but I could tell like, you know, it was messing with him. But I didn't want to push him, like try to force him back into the way he was before, because you know, it was like something he had to deal with. And like he's since come back to like his actual self, and I've seen him do a lot better and be so much more happy and so much more confident, and just, you know, just mentally he's a lot better than he was during that time period. But I feel bad that that period of his life was like kind of my fault, you know, like because of like it was seeing me in the state that I was that kind of sparked it on, I guess. I mean, it's not really my fault, it's the fault of the bullies who had me crying in the first place. But you know what I mean, in a roundabout way I felt like my fault, and I felt really, really guilty for that. But yeah, like honestly I don't really know what the point of this video is. Like nothing's going to change. I guess I just wanted to put it out there that, you know, it sucks, like it really sucks. And I don't know, it'd be like, even if just like one person kind of like rethought the way they speak to and about people online, like people they don't actually know, you know, if one person thought more sort of deeply about just believing any little thing they see without, you know, I don't know. Literally the entire point of this video is like, I miss being involved in goth communities and it sucks. And you know, there's some really spiteful people out there who I'm sure will be like really glad to hear that, but you know, what can you do? What is this brush doing? I kind of don't know really what to do with this video, because I've been too distracted with talking to get ready properly, and like I've gotten kind of most of what I wanted to say out and I haven't even finished doing my eyebrows. So this is a bit of a fail of a get ready with me. I think, right, I'm gonna finish my little chatty bit and then we'll just do a fast forward of me getting ready, because otherwise this video is gonna be like an hour long and no one wants that. And then like at the end I'm like, today here's what I did with my face, even though I have no reason to get ready tonight. Like my hair is gross because I put in a hair mask last night that I still need I put in a hair mask last night that I still need to wash out, so my hair is like not cute, so there's no reason for me to get ready, but we've started it so we're gonna finish it. So I guess the end point of this video is it's just real shit to feel very like unwelcome and anxious in spaces that are dedicated to something that has been like my entire life since I was like 10 years old, you know? This isn't like a recent thing, this isn't like something that I like hopped into for clout whenever it got like a little bit trendy online. Like I've been doing this since before I was online. Yeah, before I was online. It has always been like one of the biggest parts of my life. I've been attacked, physically attacked multiple times for expressing myself the way I do. Ended up in hospital because of it once. Well, once for myself, once ended up in hospital with another friend who had it happen. It always has and almost certainly will be a huge part of my identity and a huge part of who I am. And no matter how much people try to exclude me from it, it's not going to change, you know? I'm still always going to be who I am, regardless of whether or not I'm welcome in these spaces. I'll be me, but lonely. That's like the only difference. So like, if that's your goal, good job, well done, you know, congratulations. And so I guess like the final note, the final point to end on. If you want to like continue to be shitty to me and like pretend that I'm not goth or pretend that I'm like this awful person to like make yourself feel better about hating me, like whatever, like, you know, if I can't change your mind, I can't change your mind. Fine. All I'm asking is that you be kinder to like new goths, to like the younger people who are just now joining the scene, who are maybe like a bit misguided, who don't understand what goth music is yet, or don't understand what goth is all about. Don't be shitty to them, they don't know yet, and if you're just right off the bat like a complete cunt to them, the scene is never going to improve. It's just going to be full of bitter people, and like that will be what makes it die out. It won't be some kid who thinks Motionless in White is a goth band. It'll be this incessant gatekeeping and bullying and nastiness. It sucks to have young goths who are just trying to get into the scene come to me absolutely heartbroken because some like fucking like 30 to 40 year old man told them they're not a real goth because of something stupid. That fucking sucks. They don't deserve that. Please just try to make goth spaces online a welcoming, inviting and like gently educational place for new goths to come into. Yelling at someone that they're not goth because they listen to this band, that's not real goth music, and you're not a goth if you don't listen to this. That is never gonna like have a good effect on anyone. Like if someone comes in and they're a bit confused, then just like be enthusiastic with them, be like, hey, it's so cool that you've like, you know, found this and you want to be part of it. Like, here are my recommendations for some bands that are really awesome, and these are the bands that like first formed the goth scene back in the day. Like if you bring it to the table in a positive way, that is going to have just a way better effect. Yeah, if you want to continue like hating me, whatever, but please, for the love of God, try to make spaces online a nicer place for new people coming in so that the scene doesn't just die out altogether. Now I'm going to do my face. I'll fast forward through that and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, that is pretty much the end, but I'm not gonna bother with contact lenses or fake eyelashes or anything because I'm not doing anything. I did this purely because I started it, finished much sooner than I thought, and figured we might as well see it through so it wasn't just a video of me doing my eyebrows. But yeah, this is my finish. Like, I don't really know. Maybe I'll feel different when I see it on a big computer screen and not my tiny little camera screen, but it actually, like, looking at it here now, it actually looks pretty good, but when I look at it in the mirror, I hate it. So I'm a little conflicted on how I feel about this makeup look, but we will see. I might try something similar again, but like change some details. We'll see. My chest has not recovered. Why do I stress out about things that are not that stressful? Like I said, like I'm not mentally that stressed out, but my body's like, panic! So I'm just like, so yeah, that is the end of this. I don't know if this video is going to be like a huge mistake. I don't know if this is going to make things worse for me, but I don't know, I kind of just wanted to get it off my chest. Like I said, maybe it'll make like one person rethink the way they are to others. Maybe not. Who knows? I will say right now, I'm gonna be pretty liberal with the delete comment button if people are being rude, because even like, you know, I'm not asking for, like, you know, sometimes people will try to like hide what they want to say under like the guise of like constructive criticism, but look, I'm not asking for any here. Like, this was just me telling you my feelings. I'm not asking for your constructive criticism or anything else. So if like people are saying anything that like bums me out, essentially I will just delete it, because this is one of the few spaces online that I can somewhat control. So yeah, like, I don't know, don't be offended if that happens. It just means I didn't want to deal with it. God, I don't know what this train wreck of a video was, but it's out there now, so I'm not gonna bother with like the like, comment, subscribe, support on Patreon thing here. I don't think, like, you know, those options are always there, but it doesn't seem like the kind of video that you do that spiel on, so I'm just gonna go. I'll see you in the next video, which will be something less whatever this was. It'll probably be an unboxing video, and then after that maybe the Q&A. I'm not sure. We've got a few things to upload, so there's stuff coming. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you next time. Oh dear. Bye bye.